Welcome to Cardboard Content, where we aim to develop our skills and grow the competitive Commander community. Hey guys, it's me, Benedict. We have a game that ends in a flash, but before that, I'd like to tell you about our up-and-coming event, Dark Side Derby. It's on February 22nd. More info after this game. Starting in the upper right hand corner, we have Rodrigo playing Kinnan with an opening hand of 4. Then we have me on Kenrith, opening hand of 6. Sergio back here again with RogSi-Master, opening hand of 6 as well. And then we have Gwen on Master of Keys, opening hand of 6. Rodrigo starts us off with a forest and then passes the turn. I open up with a Flooded Strand, cast Mox Diamond, pitching a Plateau, exile Elvish Spirit Guide for a green, play Flooded Strand, crack it for a Tundra, and then cast 6. We pass on to Sergio's turn. Sergio plays a Volcanic Island into a Paradise Mantle, into his commander Rogak. He moves to Equipped and passes to Gwen. Gwen shocks in a Watery Grave, casts Chromox, imprints Blind Obedience, then casts Align's Eye Diamond. We move on to Rodrigo's second turn. He plays a Gemstone Caverns and then passes turn to me. I move straight into combat and attack Sergio with 6. Getting my attack trigger, I mill Force of Negation, Dalthi Voidwalker, and Taiga. I return Taiga to my hand, play said Taiga, then cast Fellwar Stone. Pass to Sergio. Sergio plays Polluted Delta, then passes turn to Gwen. On Gwen's turn, she plays Godless Shrine, then passes turn to Rodrigo. Rodrigo plays Treasure Vault, then passes turn to me. I again move into combat, attack with 6, this time milling Notion Thief, Savine's Reclamation, and Opposition Agent. At my end step, Sergio cracks his Polluted Delta. I respond with Archivist of Agoma. He puts in a tapped Undercity Sewers and surveils for 1. To Sergio's turn, he casts Rite of Flame into a Jessica's Will, netting 4 red mana and exiling a Daze, Verdant Catacomb, and a Steel Enchantment. He plays Cracks and fetches up a Badlands, triggers my Archivist, then casts Cabal Ritual, floats a blue with Paradise Mantle, then casts Beseech the Mirror, bargaining off the Paradise Mantle, triggering my Archivist, then casting from exile a Necropotence. Rodrigo responds with a Mindbreak Trap. Sergio responds back with a Pyroblast. Necropotence resolves, Sergio pays 15 life and moves into his end step. Goes to cleanup and exiles down to 7. On Gwen's turn, Gwen plays Bloodstained Mire, cracks for Underground Sea, triggering my Archivist. She casts her own Beseech the Mirror, bargaining off a Chromox, and then putting into play a Steel Enchantment, and again triggering my Archivist. She targets Necropotence. Sergio responds by paying 10 more life and exiling 10 cards. Then Gwen pays 15, she exiles and sculpts down to 7. We move on to Rodrigo's fourth turn. He casts Crop Rotation, puts in a Breeding Pool, and triggers my Archivist, and then passes turn to me. I play Scrubland, then cast Silence. Rodrigo responds with a Swan Song. I respond back with a Red Elemental Blast. Gwen responds back with a Force of Will. I move into combat and attack with 6, milling away a Volcanic Island, Wishclaw Talisman, and Wooded Foothills. I return the Wooded Foothills to my hand, cast a Soul Ring into a Mana Vault, then cast Underworld Breach. Gwen responds with a Mindbreak Trap, exiling my Underworld Breach. We pass turn to Sergio. Sergio plays Marsh Flats into a Soul Ring, cracks his Marsh Flats, getting an Underground Sea, triggering my Archivist. He plays Chromox, imprints a Gataxian Probe, and then casts Rhystic Study. We move on to Gwen's turn. She casts Lotho, triggers Rhystic Study. I respond by casting Orcish Bowmaster, which also triggers Rhystic Study. I use my extra mana to pay for it. ETB, I ping Sergio. Gwen casts Mox Opal, triggers Lotho, which triggers Rhystic Study. Orcish Bowmaster triggers, and I ping Lotho. Gwen pays 8 more life to Necropotence. Before Gwen's end step, Sergio casts Dark Ritual and casts Snap, targeting my Orcish Bowmaster. Bowmaster back in my hand, Sergio casts Born Upon a Wind. Then casts Demonic Console. Gwen responds by sacking Lion's Eye and flashing in a Necromancy. Sergio responds back with a Fierce Guardianship. Demonic Console resolves, Archivist triggers, Sergio casts Infernal Plunge, sacrificing Rogak, then casts Underworld Breach. He casts Gamble, then casts Brain Freeze, milling his whole deck, and then casts Thassa's Oracle. Good job, Sergio. Way to sneak that win in there, Sergio. Pretty good job on the timing and everything there. Endgame summation. Rodrigo, that was definitely a rough start. Unfortunately, mulling down to 4 and then getting only a forest and colorless mana. Only suggestion is to change up the shuffling. Maybe your previous game was long and you had a pile of lands in one chunk. Everyone played fairly well. If anyone needed some tweaking, it was probably gonna be me. I had the opportunity to oppo Sergio on his fetch, but I chose to get card advantage and cast the Archivist. It was doing pretty good job. It got me a handful of cards and probably led me into that win opportunity. That was a good choice. Probably picking off Gwen's Lotho wasn't the best decision, maybe going after Sergio's Rogak so he didn't have that counterspell. 6 did very good job giving me so many opportunities for those permanents in my graveyard to cast. The only thing that I should have took into consideration was a Mindbreak Trap, even a Force of Negation, because my thought process was, hey, cast this Underworld Breach. If it gets countered, it doesn't matter. You can get it back with 6, but a Mindbreak Trap or even a Force of Negation does stop that completely. If you enjoyed the game, please give it a like, subscribe. It helps me a whole lot. And we also have a few more videos trying to get those numbers up, and it would help me grow. If you would like to try your deck on camera or at our next event, it is happening on February 23rd. Sunday, Dark Side Derby. First place is $300 cash. Second to fourth will get $100 credit. Rounds are based on attendance. Entry is $25. Register at topdeck.gg, linked down below. Also down below is another way to support the channel through my Patreon, like these cool kids. Our tier 2 content consumers: Big Yoda at 12, Marcus at 10, Dylan at 9, Troy at 9, Rodrigo at 6, Gwen at 4. And moving on to our tier 3 cardboard cutouts, we have Wong at 14, Matt at 14, Albert at 13, and Joyner at 8. If you'd like to support the channel, please head to patreon.com/cardboardcontent. See you next round for more content.